Zwillis.
I'm gonna do music, so don't.
Hello, everybody.
I won't. He's gonna.
Well, this camera's lit. Camera's lit.
Where's the camera? I'm not on screen, right?
Yeah.
You are not.
Because everyone will owe me a lot of money.
Excuse me.
Our LPs are pretty okay. Our tech appears courtesy of Islamic. All right, so we're here to discuss the debt ceiling. I got some numbers. I'm at the wrong meeting.
I mean, we can talk about anything on this podcast.
We can talk about anything. We talk about how everything fits into that song.
Yeah, I'm thinking right now that's going to be my go-to song for everything for like at least the next week.
No, I just found one in my driveway when I was getting into my car.
Right? Are you like
I'm a little
Cinderella?
upset it wasn't in your sync.
Oh,
or
Dr.
is it Sleeping
Doolittle would
Beauty?
be more
Dr.
apropos.
Snow White.
Or
Snow White, that's it. That's the bitch.
The one with all the animal friends.
Yeah.
I guess it could be Sleeping Beauty too.
Or are you Dana Carvey?
I just live in an area that has lots of animals. I see
Bringing it back.
Like every morning I'll see like gophers.
You think when people see Dana Carvey on the street that they shout that line to him? Like, I'm sure there's
Are you
lines
too
that-
turtly for the
Turtle
Turtle Club?
Did you just ask if he was Cinderella? Because Instagram chimed in.
Oh,
that's weird.
Yeah.
It's
Wouldn't
Using the
Grant be
microphone.
Cinderfella?
Did you just say Cinderfella?
Oh,
I think that was an actual movie.
That's my Tinder handle.
Okay.
Tinderfella.
Tinderfella! Oh, trademark it now! Somebody buy Tinderfella.com.
Yeah, right. It's probably already taken. It's for when princes want to get whisked off their feet.
Tinderfella. Holy crap, that's good. All right, let me see the Pokemon's name.
Wait to get to the ball.
Zwellis. Sure, Zwellis.
I have to get to the balls.
Sorry, I don't know where you are. Zwellis.
Soylent?
Soylent.
Oh, man.
Soylent.
Swellis.
Swelling?
All right.
Swell.
His name is Swelling?
My Pokemon goes swell.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. 3, 2, 1. Go Nintendo Podcast Webisode 634. This is Willis Podcast. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but
This is Willis Podcast. Yeah.
Willis!
It's probably gonna smell. I'm sorry.
Go right ahead, Mom Brain. Tell us about
Did
Willis.
you catch a whiff? Sorry. It's the hummus I had at lunch. Zwillis is a dark blue quadruped Pokemon with 2 heads and black fur covering its necks and back.
Necks.
What about its butthole?
What about its back?
My neck, my back. Well, sure. Let's get right back into butthole talk for this podcast. It went over so well last
Wasn't
week.
that what your mom thought it was?
Yes.
Butthole?
It's back.
My neck, my
famous
back,
rap.
my butthole, and my crap.
Yep.
No, I don't think that's right, actually.
Yeah.
It is now.
She was like, my what?
She's at Fudge's maid. She needs to go around the corner the other way.
Around the corner.
Please continue.
Front legs are muscular with 2 claws on each foot, but its rear legs are less defined and have 2 small backward pointing toes without claws. There are tufts of fur over its heads with rounded points at the top. It has 2 thin wings on its back, each ending in 2 points. The first stops on the chest and opens up to fuchsia striped bands on the side of its legs.
Fuchsia.
Though it appears to lack eyes, it is unknown if Zwillis is blind. Zwillis has the vigor and
Why don't
energy.
they just ask it? If it says Zwellis, then it's blind. If it says Zwellis, then it's not blind.
Zwillis has the vigor and energy
Pokemon
to
only
eat
say
and
the
bite
name.
constantly without stopping.
Come on, you're a
Its
Pokemon
heads
guy.
dislike each other and are very hostile. As a result,
Are you getting annoyed?
stop talking.
Stop talking! Who says that? That's from Regular Show. That was Rigby from Regular Show.
Oh.
As a result, the heads
there's up next.
often turn eating into a competition. Whichever head eats more than the other gets to be the leader. Because of this,
head
Zwillis
or that head?
always eats far too much.
Far too much.
It is a
too
nomadic
much.
Pokemon. It migrates once it has eaten all the prey in an area.
Hey, you know,
Ow, my flu shot!
you can end this thing whenever you want, by the way. Like, you act like you got to get through it.
Did you talk about its two types? What types it is?
It's number 634.
Yeah.
It's
Go!
a
Get through this.
Dark dragon
That's
type
cool.
Pokemon.
I like
Its
that
ability is
combo.
Hustle.
Blue eyes.
And
White
loyalty.
dragon.
50-50 male to female
I
ratio.
wonder it can't see.
And we got an all snap, so that's what.
Oh, snap. Your browser's having some trouble there lately. You
That's all you
probably
need to know.
need to clear your cache.
Probably.
Your cache.
Oh, they have a Verizon.
Thanks, Mom Brain. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I know.
What's his name?
Thank you.
Well, yes.
And
What's
well,
his superpower?
Hidden ability.
Okay. To those of you who are joining us live right now, thank you, because I know I didn't tell anybody exactly when we were doing the podcast today because I didn't know. So it just kind of happened. So for those of you who got the notification on your phone and were like, you know what? I am going to do that. Or got it on your laptop, because there are people that still use desktop/laptop computers. Although that's old dinosaurs like us.
I'm a dino.
Everybody's on their phones and their tablets nowadays.
I'm
Just
the-
like that little, who saw that little girl when her father gave her a Game Boy? She was trying to touch the screen to play it.
Yeah.
What a stupid idiot.
It's almost as if she'd never seen a Game Boy before.
Anyway, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it.
This is the science and technology episode.
ZX Billy says, I'm on a laptop. Well, congratulations. You're a dinosaur like us.
I'm on a Gateway 2000.
Billy, you got to tell me how old you are. Hello, Turquoise and ZX Billy and Jesus and Too Bad 2010 and Matt
Jesus.
and Murasaki. Jesus and
Manchi.
Crusaderg and Robert and Ryan and Nicholas and Greenbolt and Cowboy and Cedar and whoever else I didn't see. Hello out there. Thank you for joining us on this lovely day. ZX Billy is 42, so he's a dinosaur. There you go. Forget it. I want to see somebody. Hello, Keon. Keon says, I'm on a Azul mini PC. And Turquoise says, I'm on a PC. I'm way beyond a dinosaur. Well, now, hello, Sean. Hello, Gamer64. Hello, Lanquin. What's going on here? Laptop. Hello, Megatronus. Lanquin is on the laptop, but he's 32. See, we're all dinosaurs. The kids use their phones nowadays so they can kick and tweet and WhatsApp and Tinder and Grindr and
Yik Yak.
Yik Yak and Spingo and Tubeless
If I build a new computer, does that just make me older?
yes, I'm trying to make up
And
chat
Okay, I
apps.
was gonna ask
And
sure those are all
Spargo
real.
and Skin Glue.
Skin
Hit me up on Skin.
Maybe up on Skin
Why do I
Glue.
think made up names? Hey, hit me up on Skin Glue later. And Zaplor. ZAPLR.
Splotam.
Did you get that Splotam I said?
Hit me up on the
That's how you know when you're old, when somebody's asking if you got a message on some app and you're like, what are you saying? You didn't check your Splotams yet?
Maybe I'm on a Zip Slip.
I sent you like 8 Splotan. You didn't open them yet?
It's so funny. It's funny because, you know, people say kick and Snapchat and all that
Tinder.
stuff, and that's just normal. When you say Splotam, it's like, Splotam, that's crazy.
What is kick? I've never even heard of kick.
Oh,
You have
kicks,
to
here we
be-
go.
You have to be under 20.
Oh, man. It's for taking pictures of your woohoo,
of your
Your little
Splotams.
ding
of your
dong.
Splotams and your bling blong. Oh, man.
Bling blog?
You okay?
Made up names, man. Made up names. Did you see that? God, I'm gonna start laughing again. Did you see that Tim and Eric, the butter one?
Yeah.
Oh
I
man,
just watched it today.
what an
It was a long
amazing
one.
episode! What an amazing episode that was.
It was pretty good.
Santiago says, "Wait, it's today's Saturday already? No,
No,
it's
sorry.
not.
But then I
We have a
watched-
wedding to go to tomorrow.
Uh,
Marissa,
You got two. Right?
two
we
weddings.
have a very important
You
wedding
guys
to
said,
go to
like I said
tomorrow.
something wrong." Murasaki says, "I'm listening to this as a download audio file on my Zune."
It's not relevant.
Hello, Ella Wolf.
We don't just have a wedding to go to tomorrow.
Hello, I'm an F and T-Rex. Yes, tomorrow is Lube's wedding.
Hey!
So we're going to that. So blame
Sorry, all
him
you
for.
cyber babes. He's taking
So blame him for
Lube's
ruining
off
the
market,
podcast day.
everybody.
Quit
Sorry.
sending him
Splotam. No more
It's off
Splotams
the
for Lube.
Splotams
He's
market.
taken.
late night
dirty
Splotams on private mode.
Splotams will be returned to sender.
So if y'all could just spam his Facebook with happy
Sorry.
wedding wishes,
Hello,
that would be great.
Frederick.
And more Splotam.
Can you send him a direct Splotam on the side?
Oh, I can't.
You gotta splot him.
My stomach
Splat
hurts from
him.
laughing. So I had a special request today, so I'm going to do. Hammond Stage says, could you wish Canadians a happy Thanksgiving on your podcast? I would appreciate it. Happy Thanksgiving to the Canadians, but it's not until Monday. So we're getting in on it early. Mr. Nintendo Fanatico says, I'm listening on my phone, and I'm 43 years old. So
why are you wearing your Canadian shirt, bro?
Yes.
Nice.
That's definitely it. Hello, the Itchinator. Itchinator says, make sure you bring your Switch to the wedding. You'll be the life of the party, like in the Nintendo ads. Yes, that's true.
Do they go to a wedding?
No, but they go to rooftop parties. And,
Oh, yeah.
there's I don't remember exactly. I'm going to look it up. So there's this ad that Nintendo took out in the UK in the Metro. And it's a full-page ad for the Switch. But they have, like, you know, lifestyle pictures of, like, a couple on a date playing the Switch and, like, kids eating food playing the Switch.
Let me see your Joy-Con.
But they also have, like, little blurbs that, you know, the people supposedly said, which, you know, they didn't say. And there's a really funny one. I don't want to spoil it. I want to make sure I get it right.
Fun.
Here you go. One of them is a picture of kids playing the Switch. And it has the quote next to it, and it says, so focused on playing, they forgot to eat the frozen yogurt. Like, how lame is that? Children, you're frozen yogurt. Not now, Mother, we're playing Switch.
Is it because they're eating frozen yogurt instead of ice cream?
I guess.
Is that why you're upset?
And this is also in the UK, so it's yogurt.
For encouraging unhealthy.
Yeah, if it was ice cream, they would have eaten the ice cream first.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Mom, we're not eating because it's gross.
Yeah, that's definitely right. No, you can't play your Switch till you finish your yogurt.
Your Frogurt.
Your Frogurt.
All right, so I'll go over whatever stories we got so far this week. There's some good ones in there.
So I'll Frogurt over some stories.
I think. So the Super Nintendo Classic Edition.
Make it fast. I got Froyo sitting out upstairs.
The Super Nintendo Classic Edition.
I'm so focused I don't want to forget about it.
Is now available, and people have been buying it. And GameStop's Senior Vice President of Merchandising, Bob Puzon,
Hey, yo.
says,
What's he Puzon?
That's what I was waiting for. Says, Nintendo has done it again. Customer demand for the Super Nintendo Classic Edition was just like we expected. We sold out of our SNES Classic inventory within minutes in both our GameStop and ThinkGeek retail channels. But customers shouldn't worry. We're getting more very soon. Once we do, our customers will be first to know. So it seems like too much yogurt before the podcast. I gotta hit that, John. It seems like the launch of Super Nintendo Classic Edition went really well. The pre-orders were rough, but the actual the pre-orders were rough, but the actual launch of the system went well, and they had a lot more stock out there. They had a lot more stock out there for the Super Nintendo Classic Edition than they did the NES Classic Edition. So you might be able to still find one. It's definitely hard to find one, but they put way more out there. But if you're in an area where you can't find one, you can rest easy because GameStop is getting more.
When?
But they didn't say when.
Like next month? This month?
Could be next week for all we know. And
I want to know.
Wait,
they didn't say if it's going to be. What?
Is that a hint?
No,
Are they
I honestly don't know.
I think Robbie knows.
I swear to God, I don't.
Everyone, ask Robbie.
They also didn't say it was going to be bundled, so I don't know if they're going to bring back those terrible bundles, especially the ones that they were doing on ThinkGeek, which was like, you know,
what was it bundled?
A Mega Man helmet. And well, this was the NES Classic Edition. They were doing. ThinkGeek was like, oh, we found stock of the NES Classic Edition, which meant we were holding it back to gouge you, but you couldn't buy it by itself. It was only in bundles, and the bundles were like, it's like a Mega Man mug and like a book and an NES Classic Edition for like $160, but they all sold out. So what are you gonna know?
That's
because they know they got you by the balls.
The balls, but this time they don't got you by the
balls.
You can check out multiple retailers, and you might still have a chance at getting one. But hopefully, everybody that wanted one got one. Hello, Hickle Memori Media. Hello, Schwanodon.
I think so.
Okay.
Nintendo says right now there's no plans for another Metroid remake. So Metroid Samus Returns came out, and that is a remake of Metroid 2, Return of Samus. And it's pretty much just a remake in name because the game is so different from the original, but, you know, they had to flesh things out.
Wait, I'm sorry. Samus Returns is a remake of Return of Samus?
Yeah.
Think about it.
The same name?
So it wouldn't be as confusing?
Probably.
Oh, okay. Why didn't they just call it New
That's
New
the real
Metroid
question.
Samus 2 Super Mario 2?
Well, I can answer the last part of that. The first, yeah, maybe they're finally moving away from the new, except they're not because they just put out the new 2DS XL.
New Super Metroid 2 again.
New Super Metroid 2 Return of Samus again.
Yeah.
Why can't Metroid crawl? The Metroid franchise co-creator and producer on Metroid Samus Returns, Mr. Yoshio Sakamoto, says, "It really depends on the reasons you have for undertaking such a challenge, whether there's a need for it, and your own motivation. But at the moment, I have no plans for another remake. I think we need to spend time considering whether fans are only wanting remakes going forward, and what that might mean." So he's saying if people only want remakes, that means they don't think we make new good games. So we need to make sure that they do think that.
Game. What's he done for me lately?
Found Samus.
Sakamoto, Sakamoto's had a rough time.
Seamus.
Because he, he was involved in Metroid Prime Federation Force, which fans were not too happy about.
Yeah.
But now he's back because we have Metroid.
He's back.
Samus Returns
Doing remakes, and people love it.
Well, that's what he's saying. No more remakes. He's saying from here on out.
It sounds like people enjoy the remake more than they like the new content.
Right.
Well,
so no more new content.
We're talking about spin-off, though. He's not talking about. He's talking about mainline Metroid games, and Federation Force was a spin-off. So, and we know that Metroid Prime 4 is coming, and that is new.
New Metroid content confirmed.
Yeah. We know Metroid Prime 4 is coming in. It's new, but Sakamoto's not involved with that. That's another team, and we don't know who, actually. Hello, Roth. Hello, Daniel. Hello, Stardust Hoopa. Hello, Son Goku 420, the one with my favorite name ever. You're my son, Goku 420. Let's get high together,
Wouldn't it be great if he called himself Son Goku 420 Blazing?
I'm trying to think of something that they would say in Dragon Ball about being high, but relate it to like something that they say in Dragon Ball. Like all I can think of is like Kamehameha, but I can't think of anything that like is high about that. Drug related. JD has the top rated comment and says, "Should I be worried? Are the rabid fans? I mean, I love Metroid, but its fan base really needs to chill out, and I worry this might just rile them up because, well, it's them. It's the internet, man."
What about a Metroid? Metroid and Rabbids.
Say that about fan bases in general.
Metroid Rabbids, yeah. Well, see, this is the whole discussion we had before. We had a Metroid game that was pinball focused, and that was okay because people were happy with the other Metroid games at the time. When Federation Force came out, they were not happy with the other Metroid games, which the previous one was Metroid Other M.
Which was like...
So they were like, we want a real Metroid, and Nintendo's like, we got you, Metroid Prime, Federation Force! So people got real upset about it. So. Federation Force! Which was actually first teased at the Nintendo World Championships in whatever that was, 2015. And now the championships are tomorrow.
Already?
Yes.
What was that noise?
I want to go to them.
I'm sorry.
I want to
go there.
But you got to go to a wedding.
Yeah.
2 weddings.
And then another wedding. And then another
And
wedding.
another. So level 5. Nikki Hill, level 5 makes.
Professor Layton.
Mom Rain, they make.
Shantae.
No, I knew you didn't know anything else.
Wait, do they make Yokai Watch?
Yes, they do. They make Yokai Watch.
I guess we know who loves
Yokai, want to be your friend. What?
Pokemon?
That's a different company.
I thought the people that made Yokai Watch did Pokemon.
Oh, no.
Wrong.
Pokemon people do Pokemon.
I thought the Pokemon people were like, let's do something different, but almost exactly like Pokemon, but we'll make Watch Ghosts.
No, level 5. That's pretty good. Level 5 was like, hey, let's do something like Pokemon because Pokemon's really popular. But here's where level 5 made the mistake. Pokemon company's like, hey, let's make Pokemon games and let's make lots of them, but let's spread them out and we'll fill it in with little spin-off games in between. And level 5 made Yokai Watch, and it was a huge success. And they were like, hey, let's make a new main installment in Yokai Watch every year. And now people are like, I don't want Yokai Watch anymore. But
and all of the people in the office were like, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Watch. It'll be great.
Oh
yeah.
my
Okay.
God.
Watch.
Expertly done.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay, watch.
Did you know that there's a
2.
Professor Layton game
Psychic Specters.
on mobile platforms?
That same one came out on 3DS today.
Relevant.
This day.
I know, yeah. Yeah, it came
This
out on
very
mobile
day.
in July, and now it is available on 3DS. All right, so level 5. This
The
is
power
level
of Layton
5's
in your pocket.
Simon Waldron. He's the Senior Vice President of Marketing and Licensing at level 5. They give us an update on some franchises. First off, Professor Layton. Here's something really exciting.
Do you remember Waldron Books?
Yeah. Here's something really exciting. They say that animated projects are in the works for Professor Layton, but we found out later on in the week that there's a Professor Layton TV series coming out. And it's going to be 26 episodes, 28 episodes. We don't know if it's animated, if it's live action or anything. They didn't say anything.
Would you watch it if it was live?
I would watch it either way to give it a
action.
shot. I saw the Professor Layton movie. Did you? The
No,
Eternal
because
Diva.
You guys watch it without.
Oh yeah, I forgot
I
there was
didn't
a
watch it.
movie.
Really,
It was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think I watched it by myself. I don't know anybody that
I
watched
think The
it.
Stranger was there.
I think that still counts. It wasn't with Nikki. So. Should count. Damn.
Yeah, I don't know if you're doing animated or live action. I agree, animated would make more sense, but
Especially since the cutscenes are so perfect in all the.
this is for you. They're also looking into experimental live events, like
Like
Escape the Room,
like a-
Professor
like a
Layton.
seance?
Oh, I thought you meant like
Like a seance?
like live webcam content.
Yes, you pay to watch Professor Layton's webcam. Oh, I gotta see what's under that top hat. And they say a new Professor Layton video game is going to be released in summer 2018.
Hold on. I
Surprise!
thought they were done with Professor Layton.
They let it rest for a little while. Now wait,
Catriel is the new.
I was going to say the new one's Catriel, who may or may not be his daughter. We don't know.
What if?
I will find
Oh
out.
dear! What if you get to the end of
The
that game
tests were
and
inconclusive.
Catriel is Professor Layton?
Oh my God! I don't know
Herschel?
how
That's
that would
first
work.
name?
Herschel, yes. Herschel Layton.
She takes off her little hat, and there's a bigger hat, and she's wearing a mask.
Listen, all I
I
care.
didn't see that.
All I care. Lanquin says they're actually going to announce Professor Layton VR porn. That's what it's going to be.
Oh.
All I care about is that they get rid of Luke. I hate that little piece of crap. I hate his voice. I think he's annoying.
Since when?
I want him gone. I always hated Luke. I hate Luke with a
This is the
passion.
first time hearing about this.
See? Oh, shut up! I just don't like that. He dresses like an 8-year-old version of my dad. I hate it.
You hate that.
I hate my dad!
Yeah,
Your dad is a
I think that's what
gentleman.
this is all about.
You hate your I always hated how my dad's solving puzzles. All right, Inazuma 11, which is a soccer franchise, which hasn't really been met with much success stateside, but it is a popular franchise for them. They're working on a new installment called Inazuma 11 Aries, which is something we've heard about for a long time, but we don't know what system it's coming to. But now, Level 5 says it's coming to an unspecified Nintendo platform. We know it's not 3DS because they've said that.
Oh gosh, do we know what Nintendo's doing for their?
So
next
it's either
system?
Switch or something new already. So it's Switch. They're going to do stuff with Inazuma 11 for the apparel, footwear, and publishing markets. There's also a new anime project for the series in the works. And there's digital components as well that they're going to do, such as online stickers
What does that
All
even mean?
right.
Online stickies.
for your messaging app that I
You
already
know-
forget the name of. Splat.
That is like a huge thing. Apparently.
Was it?
What the? Come on, Kirby. I turn to you for this stuff. You always remember that.
People really like to spend money on freaking.
What was it called?
Was it Splatdom?
Was it Splotail?
Splotams. That's it.
Splotam.
We gotta start a Splotam app. Let's
I'll
just
start
get it
designing
on the
it.
App Store, and it literally does nothing. You just get the icon on your phone,
And
and
you just
that's
go
it.
bloop and it's Splotam. Did you get my Splotam?
You can only send people the message Splotam.
Splotam.
Well, it's got some annoying guy saying it every time, like Splotam, something like that.
I feel like it needs to be
real
I think it needs to
long
be
and
purple.
loud.
some kind of annoying purple.
I pictured like a
Hey,
The
green.
voice
wait.
needs to be
But also,
The color of the
I picture a
icon.
purple voice.
no matter how you have your phone set, if it's like you have it on
Okay.
silence
Yeah.
or
The
or
pushiest
like
push
do not-
messages ever.
do not disturb or anything, it overrides.
Or if
it.
you're on the phone, it says okay,
Listen, Splotam's are that
in the
important.
middle. In the middle of your phone.
Hey, bro, we want to make sure you get your Splotam.
Yeah. You'll never miss a Splotam with Splotam.
They also talk about Yokai Watch, and they say that the 3rd season of the anime is coming to North America and Europe in early 2018. Remember, that airs on Disney in North America, and I believe Cartoon Network in Europe. And there's a new wave of toys, books, and other products on the way. Marital aids, Yokai Watch stuff.
Do you watch Yokai Watch?
Yeah,
okay.
This dildo's
I
haunted.
thought you were asking the one. Trying to think of some of the names of the yokai. There's Hungramps.
Well,
Hungramps, I think his name is.
Hung like a Gramps?
It's an old man who's hungry all the time.
Hungramps. That's clever. They use the G because that's in both.
There's a guy that sweats a lot, but I don't remember
Sweat
his
Gramps?
name. Sweat Gramps. Yeah, I should have made this clear. All of them are something Gramps.
Cool. I can figure
Yokai
this out.
Gramps.
What about this Snack World? Tell me about it.
Snack World is their new title, which they have plans to bring to North America, but they haven't confirmed when. It's on 3DS. I believe it's also on mobile. And it's like, it's kind of like adventuring and dungeoning, but it's like toy and food based. Yeah.
like a little
food
cheesy
dungeon?
robo-ish?
You're talking about a food dungeon?
Sure. Yes, a food dungeon.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, man, I'm starving. I got to put something in my food dungeon.
That's awesome.
In Snack World, all the dungeons.
I thought it was
are
where
food
you
dungeons.
get really dangerous food. Like there's the pantry, which
My
sounds
food dungeon
nice.
is growling.
Can we,
That is an awesome name.
who do we have to contact to get any new, not necessarily new Henry Hansberg, but something similar?
A new, not necessarily new. Well, EA published that, so if I know EA, they probably maintain the rights in perpetuity. So
Which
I don't think we're ever going to
means
see a new one
perpetuity.
ever again.
Not a new one, just a new game of that sort.
purple potato patooity.
Well, that's a very specific type of game.
Awesome
A platformer
platforming.
match 3 puzzle game.
Yeah, it was so good, and it looked amazing. It was
Well, I don't have a platformer match 3 puzzle game, but I do have a dating simulator puzzle game. Did you see that
that's
news,
right.
Kirby? Or no, not Kirby. Did you see that news, R-Type? You did?
HP?
Honey Pop 2 was announced, yes.
I thought there was one, but it was like an RPG.
No, they had a
something.
spin-off, and it was like about
Terrible.
webcam models and stuff
Oh,
like that. Some of the girls from that game are going to be in the new one, plus
Ooh,
some
rekindle
returning girls from the first
romance?
one, plus new ones altogether.
It is.
Yes, Honey
That's
Pop
not
2.
on.
Here's the thing. I need a wingman.
Honey Pop 2, no.
I need a wingman because I could never. finish
You need
the deal.
Julie. She's your wingman.
DJ King
Julie-
Gaming
Julie's vitamin
says
G.
Inazuma 11 Aries will be coming to Switch count on it. Yes, everybody, I think, is in agreement on that, even though for some reason Level 5 is pretending like they can't say what it's going to come to. I don't know why.
Do they think that the Switch isn't out yet? They just forgot.
Yeah, right.
Maybe it's gonna come out on the new SNES. SNES.
Sinus.
Yes,
The
show us.
mini- the mini.
Sinus.
I'm just going to mention this real quick. It's hard to discuss on a
forget
podcast, but
it.
you really should check it out. We got a really detailed look at how Zelda Breath of the Wild was made. And it includes a whole bunch of behind-the-scenes development pictures and the game, like early builds of the game. They go into great detail on how the game was made with so many developers at once, yet they didn't overlap content, and they weren't like all, somebody was working on one thing and another person didn't know that they were working on a thing, and 2 people were working on the same thing at the same time, and canceling out each other's work or something like that. So a whole really big, long, interesting thing about it. So check that out. I just want to mention that. Miiverse.
Wait, so the people that, so 2 people working on the same thing, and then they're like, this guy's is better, you're fired.
Well, they had like a whole program to avoid things like that happening, implemented in the game and the development environment. That's what this is all about. You get to see like how they worked on that stuff in tandem because it's their biggest game ever with the most amount of people they've ever had work on a single game. Oh, this is working. It's just not scrolling. Sorry. Hello, Bacon Bits and Burning Cheese and Rocket and whoever else I didn't see. Why was that not scrolling? All right, so Miiverse is coming to an end, as we've already discussed, and people are very sad about it. But Nintendo wants you to know they're doing something special. As of today, and open until October 11th, you can visit the Everybody's Message community on Miiverse. This is a limited-time community that for everyone to share their Miiverse memories and shout-outs to other Miiverse users. You can't do text-only posts because this is a worldwide community, and they want everybody to be able to engage in it. So they want you to draw pictures. So what are people doing? Writing words instead of drawing pictures because they're jerks. Well, you can go on there and do whatever you want, and Nintendo says they might do something where they end up like collecting some of the best posts and make a collage and share it with everybody. But they're not going to make a collage of like all your Shrek drawings or like other memes. They're not going to do that. So, you know, try and make it Nintendo game related if you want a chance at getting in its collage. But
There's a Shrek game.
Actually,
as much as you want to write about Corey in the house, I don't think it's going to get you in there.
Miiverse is going to get eliminated soon, so spend a bunch of time and draw really great pictures that will never be seen again.
Well, there is one man who is making it his mission to archive the entirety
Well,
of
he
Miiverse.
better get
Who is he?
going.
Yeah, Kraken.
I don't know. Frank. His name's Frank.
Okay.
Immediate Muffin says, man, I remember
Frank.
printing Miiverse
Frank
art
Caliendo.
exhibition. Let me try this again. Man, I remember printing Miiverse art exhibit in Germany in early Wii U days. Nintendo was apparently not cooperative with the event. Well, it's a different Nintendo now, kind of. Did I talk about this last week? The Switch Icon Theater? I talked about that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, whatever. I posted it this week.
Yeah.
I only put it on YouTube, and I didn't put it on GoNintendo, but I put it on GoNintendo this week. And a whole bunch of you guys saw it on GoNintendo because you don't follow the YouTube channel because you're farts. I don't really care, but I'm glad you. I'm glad you checked it out.
There, I guess.
So thanks for watching.
Thanks for listening.
That's just about the icon?
Switch Icon Theater.
Is that
Yes,
the first
that will
time
be
you
about
ever did
icons
Switch
only.
Icon Theater?
Switch.
That
I
is
can't believe it.
The debut of Switch Icon Theater. Yes,
Okay.
I'm currently looking at other icons to
You
work
don't even
with.
really talk about the game. It's just the icon.
Well, I literally read the official description of the game. So,
That's what that is. Okay.
but
That's why it was so
yes, it is.
poorly spoken.
This is about the icons themselves. Yes, I break down the icons because
People
people
we're not
take.
talking icons like Link or Super Mario.
No, we're talking about the
those are
literal
Nintendo icons.
game icons on the Switch
Uh-huh.
menu because people are taking them very seriously. So,
Yeah.
Who? Like
You
game
think I'm
developers
lying.
or just
no, consumers, Switch
Yeah.
owners are taking it so seriously that developers are now going on like Reddit and Twitter and other message boards and be like,
Justifying their
"Hey,
icons?
look at our icon. Don't you like it? This is a
are we?
great icon."
But is that like
This is not tongue in cheek.
Porchester?
Because they feel like it's
That guy would
representative
take
of the
it
game,
seriously.
so they want it to like match their like what the trade dress of it or like what they think it should.
You're asking me for the real answer? I have no effing idea why people take it so seriously, but I can tell you they do, yes.
For the same reason, everything on the internet is taken
It's a good
seriously.
point. It's a good point.
What is that
All right,
reason?
so let me say this. Let
I
me
don't
preface
know.
it by saying
Let me
if
just say
icons
this.
are
The games on Switch suck, so people spend all their time looking at the ball screen and the icons.
if you are really into Switch icons, that's totally fine. You can do that. If it's something you feel that it impacts the game for you, okay, then that's the way it is. But yes, that like I can
Except
appreciate.
it doesn't, so
I
that's
can-
fine.
I can appreciate a nice icon. Certainly, I
Yeah,
can look at it and
sure.
be like, "Oh, that's a nice looking icon."
And then I'm playing the game before I have a second
Well,
thought.
me personally, yeah, I don't play the game, and I'm like, "Oh, if only the icon was better." But
Yeah.
some people
Such a
do.
game back
Now,
then.
there's one argument that I've seen that I will, while I don't personally subscribe to it, I will say, okay, I
Where the
understand.
Breath of the
People
Wild
will be
icon
like-
was Mario.
People will say, if I have a whole bunch of games on Switch and I'm scrolling through them quickly, I would like the icon to say the name of the game. I don't want to have to remember that this nondescript picture means this game. So,
Yeah, but
okay.
Scroll through it.
I understand
it comes up
that.
Like I want to
underneath
play
it.
Excite
Not
Bike and I gotta
quickly.
find
If you're
Coatsy.
just like, then you don't see it.
Why are you in such a darn
That's
rush?
the world today. Everybody's in a rush.
Yeah,
It's
everybody's
true.
got
There's
to
no
take,
time for anything.
take it easy. Slow it down a little bit. Read your game titles.
Look at
Cumulative.
the manual.
No.
Look
No,
at the cover.
cumulative. Cumulative says, "Thou shalt not worship false icons."
Mm.
Hello, Sarah. All right, Super Mario Odyssey does not use the traditional
Icon.
live system of the
Breaking
Mario
icon news.
series. So why? Why doesn't it use the live system that other games do?
I think it's because there's no nipples.
Kento.
There are nipples.
There are nipples. Kento Motokura says, we thought about how a live system would work in this kind of broad exploration-focused game. In this sort of game, there would be a lot of different restart points. We decided not to use the live systems because it was not an element that was absolutely necessary. We also thought that it would affect some users' desire to play because, while users who are good at the game rarely see the game over screen, inexperienced users would probably end up seeing it frequently. So they're like, half the people never see it because they're good, and the other people see it all the time, so it annoys them. So why do it?
Did they kind of get rid
So they
of
don't have a game over screen?
like game over stuff? in the past?
It's probably like a Return to the Odyssey or something like that. Huh?
Didn't they kind of get rid of that stuff?
Game over. I remember that.
Yeah, that was the kind of an arcade leftover.
Super Mario 3D World, I think, had a game over screen.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know because I never saw it.
Well, I even thought like going
Who's
back to like one of the
impersonating who? I don't even
galaxies
know
or something.
anymore.
Huh?
Super Galaxy or New Super Mario Brothers or something. Like
I don't remember.
maybe it was just that you would lose coins or.
I'm not trying to be an
something
asshole,
like,
but especially in the new
Or-
Super Mario Brothers games, you get so many lives so easily. I have no idea what the game over screen looks like.
Give me 10 minutes with the game on.
Light Wolf says, I can't remember the last time I got a game over in a modern Mario game. Extra lives are just too common, and the life system itself is pointless in design for this kind of game. They made the right choice.
And there's a lot of games now that you die. You can just die like an infinite amount of times. It just
I think
records
I-
how many times you die so that you can feel bad about yourself.
Yes,
You
I
died
think the whole
300 times.
dying mechanic in games, I think we're moving on from that. Like, you start at the beginning of the level, and that's it. Like, what's the game over do except, like, take longer to get back into the game?
And nobody's got time for that.
Nobody's got time, as we've already said.
Yeah.
I don't have time for games. I don't have time for this podcast. We're
Games
done.
now are 10 or 20 hours long.
Philip says, well,
Just start from the
la-di-da.
very beginning again. That was.
Okay, that's that. We're done with that. Yes, it's true, Burn and Cheese. I am looking at the YouTube people, but I'm also looking at you. Oh, yeah. I did one of them oh, man, people don't have time.
Hi.
I did one of them old-fashioned written reviews for a video game.
Nobody's
I
got
did
time
a-
to read that.
Yeah, I don't have time to read it. What's your score?
Just give it a number.
Oh.
Yeah.
I did a written review of Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions, which I will talk about after we're done with the news section. But the reason I did a written review is because I don't have a 3DS capture unit, so I
like
would
a
just
7.7 is what you're trying to tell me?
I don't have a capture unit for footage, so long story short, 7 out of 7.
Yeah.
Wow,
Let's-
this is long.
yeah.
I'm surprised the internet has enough space to hold all
Well, La
We have to get an
Certana
expansion
or
pack
Lai
for the
Certana
internet.
says, I just wanted to tell you how much I appreciate it that you still take time to write comprehensive, informative, and well-written text reviews. Please keep doing this. Video content is nice from time to time, but not ideal for each and any kind of information, especially not for non-native English speakers like me, apparently me as well, who can much easier understand written than spoken text. Well, very good point, sir. You know what you could do? Just go over to YouTube, click on our video reviews, and then click on the captions button, and YouTube makes captions for you, and you won't know what the hell it's saying, but it'll be funny.
Yeah, right.
It's always funny. If I had a little extra scratch, I'd pay somebody to do the transcriptions because that's the thing on YouTube now. That would be nice.
So it says at the bottom of this news story rating 7. So I guess you gave it a 7.
They gave it a 7.
They gave you a review.
Go ahead, click the 7. Click the
I'm a
7.
review rater.
Click the 7. You can see who gave it the 7.
Who gave it a 7? See.
Here.
So
Jaing, Neo Pumpkin, Sir Swoop, Fruz, Light Cow 42, Genetic Repo Man, and Rock Yeah. That's who gave it your 7.
Sounds like a delicious breakfast cereal.
We're not doing. Yeah, we'll do. I'll just mention this real quick because we got time. I'll do it for real. Mr. Sakamoto at Nintendo talked more about Metroid, and I asked him about the future of the Metroid series. They're like, hey, is there going to be another 2D Metroid? And he says, personally, I'm constantly exploring the possibilities and the future of the Metroid series. And part of that means not imposing any limits on ourselves when it comes to game design or hardware platforms. So he's saying, could be on Switch and it could still be 2D. Could be on Switch, it could be 3D. Who knows? Maybe it'll be on 3DS, although that's not going to happen, definitely. And I asked him why this game, Metroid Samus Returns, was on 3DS instead of Switch. And he says, one of the things we chose to stick with this time was utilizing both 3D visuals and a dual screen setup. In fact, I've been interested in creating a Metroid title that allowed you to display the map constantly on the second screen and interact with the elements of the user interface by touching them since the time of the original DS. The 3DS made the 3D visuals possible, of course, and the more powerful hardware allows for higher fidelity experience. Both are reasons we felt that this was the right choice. And what he really means is we started development on the 3DS before the Switch was finalized. So there you go. I translated that for you.
This is ridiculous.
First comment comes from Immediate Muffin, and he says, and yet it took him to the end of the 3DS life cycle to actually make one. Well, here's what I think really happened. Federation Force, all right, Other M came out, and people were not happy. And then Federation Force came out, and people were really not happy. So I think Nintendo was like, oh, we got to do some damage control. How do we make sure we put out a good Metroid game? Let's remake one that is already a good Metroid game. So that's what they did.
It's the first step.
Now we're back on track. What's all this garbage? Oh, Kirby Superstar.
Yeah, that's what I just read.
One of the games on the Super Nintendo Classic Edition.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Almost included a horror-themed Kirby game.
Well,
This is according to Mr. Masahiro Sakurai, as translated by our friends at Source Gaming. Because he does the final Super Nintendo Classic Edition interview, which is yet to be translated into English officially, but Source Gaming, who specializes in translations, got these details. So the Kirby Superstar has 6 games in it, but it originally had 7, and one of them was going to be a horror-themed Kirby game. Kirby would be able to inhale for his copy abilities, and Kirby would walk around the house, and a candle would give Kirby the fire ability. The game would have some puzzle elements. Sakurai says it's an horror action game.
I like it.
And he says that the subtitle would have been Kirby and the Boiling Manor.
Nice.
But he says no work was done on the horror action game as other modes were prioritized. So it's an idea that they had, but they didn't actually move forward on it. And then there's other tidbits.
It's titbits.
Tidbits. They were considering the name Kirby Active for the game, which is a terrible name, but I don't really care.
It's not very good.
And it took 3 years to make, and it's like part of the reason why it took 3 years to make is because of the impact of Donkey Kong Country. So Donkey Kong Country had very specific, extreme, advanced graphics. And Nintendo was like, uh-oh, people really like this. What are we going to do? And then eventually they were like, it's Kirby. He doesn't need that stuff. And Miyamoto was the one who suggested that there be co-op in the game.
So Kirby Superstar
Kirby
has co-op?
I don't remember if one of the games do or not. It's been a while since I played it. And there's been so many other Kirby games that have co-op in them now that I'm confused. Hawk says, when you think about what Kirby's doing with the enemies he fights, every one of his games is a horror game. That is true. He's literally eating his enemies alive and stealing their soul to fight with it.
Basically, yeah.
Kirby's a monster.
He is history's greatest
But he's
monster.
being so-
Resident Drew says, hello, Drew. Resident Kirby. Yes.
that
President
promo
Kirby.
thing where they sent Kirby's flying in the air and like no one saw it.
Yep.
They thought anything about it.
You said President Kirby, and I pictured a little scene in my head that was very funny to me. I pictured people talking to President Kirby in the Oval Office, but he would only speak in the Kirby noises that he makes. So it'd be like, Mr. Kirby, what do you think? And he would go, all those weird noises.
He gets up at the podium and everybody in the
Sucks
room
everybody
just
in.
vaporizes.
Yeah, you were talking to the microphone and everyone would explode.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
you're right.
Yeah. Oh my God. He could be the world's greatest leader because he could eat the other great leaders and take on their abilities.
Yeah.
Oh,
But then the places that he ate their leaders would have no leaders.
so then he'd be a dictator.
But he'd
America
be their
first.
leader too.
Kirby says America first. Yeah, he could just fly there on his own.
This is an empire
That's
now.
the platform he ran.
Kirby Empire. Nintendo's doing a good old-fashioned road trip. They're doing a journey across the country to celebrate the launch of Super Mario Odyssey. So if you want to play Super Mario Odyssey, they're bringing around an Airstream that's got the game in it to do some demos. It kicks off October 10th. That's next week at Universal City Walk, and it ends in New York on October 26th with many
Is that the
exciting.
City Walk? My mom could go.
It is.
We could
Uh,
go.
I stayed at Los Angeles.
Oh,
My
I
That's
mean,
too
she can
far.
still go. She's retired. But.
road trips are
You
boring.
know
anyway.
something? My Maka.
So here's where it's going: Los Angeles, Dallas, Chicago, Philadelphia. That's by us.
Where?
So
Philadelphia at October 24th, and then
No.
New York, New York. In New York, the first 200 people in line will gain access to the event and be the first to purchase the game at midnight. Sadly, no Goomba stacks will be admitted. That's what Nintendo says. Do you get it? So yeah, I mean, let's be honest here. Everybody I'm talking to on the podcast right now that's listening and not at this table is most likely going to buy the game anyway. But if you really want to go out and play it, you can do that.
I just think it's funny. It's like they're sending out an Airstream for kids to go inside and play the game. Instead of being like, hey, little kid, you want some candy? They're like, hey, little kid, you want to play a video game? And you go inside their trailer.
Well, you got to update tactics nowadays. Kids know not to go for candy, but maybe if they had free tablets.
You
with
go into their
Spokane on it.
trailer that has Cappy on the G-darn roof. They are capturing children all across the country.
Oh my God, you're
and
right.
You're promoting it. You have?
Fotis says this trailer is a looker. Wow. It is a nice looking trailer. It's even got the Cappy hat on
That's
the
what I'm
top
saying.
of it.
The capture all
Oh my
Thank
God,
you.
it really is.
Anything?
They're going to capture
I
children.
love it.
Here you go. 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 Right here. Here it is.
Here I am. I'm Cappy.
But that, I mean, that's an artist.
Hey, I'm
That's
talking
something
Cappy.
real
Hey, kids, I'm talking Cappy.
Artist conception,
Rendering?
rendering.
All right, North America this week. North America this week's uploads from Nintendo / downloads on the Switch and the 3DS. What do we get? It was another big week, another banner week for the Switch eShop.
Hello, Kitty, Bubbles and Muffin.
Bubbles and baby.
One game that people have been waiting for since the Switch came out is finally available. Hello, Kim. Hello, Video Game Guru.
Why do you sound so
It's available
mean?
on the Switch.
Hello, Kim.
Hello, Newman. Stardew Valley is available. You've
Stardew
inherited
Valley.
your grandfather's old farm plot in Stardew Valley. Armed with the hand-me-down tools and a few coins, you set out to begin your new life. Can you learn to live off the land and turn these overgrown fields into a thriving home? It won't be easy. Ever since the Joja Corporation came to town, the old ways of life have all but disappeared.
Is there
With a little dedication, you might just be the one to restore Stardew Valley to greatness, yes?
Is there an option to just sell off
No,
Gramps' property and
Korean
just
for boy.
take the money?
leave town, yeah. How much for this plot? All right, I'm out of here. Also available is Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions. That is the remake of the GBA game plus a brand new mode, which I'll talk a little bit more later. Layton's Mystery Journey, Catriel and the Millionaire's Conspiracy with Catriel, the young woman who may or may not be Professor Layton's daughter, plus a dog that talks. Does the dog talk to everybody? Does the dog only talk to her? You're going to have to play the game to find out.
Did Luke's hamster talk?
Do-do. Huh?
Did Luke's
Squeaked, I
hamster
think.
talk or squeak?
I forget all things Luke on purpose.
Only when you poked it.
Yeah. Only in paper towel tube did it talk.
Also new this week, Axiom Verge. If you like Metroidvania games, I cannot recommend Axiom Verge enough.
Wow.
Metroidvania.
Oh, thank you.
You've been talking about this game for years.
Like
Yeah.
games. Games for you?
Yes, it's an excellent game made by one man. He poured a whole bunch of his life basically into making this game, and it is available on Wii U. It is also available on Switch Digital, and if you wait until later in the month, I think it is, you can get it at retail as well. So if you're that type of person, then you can get a physical copy.
What is that type of person?
Someone who likes physical copies of games.
Physical challenge.
Also available is
Physical copy.
Earth Atlantis, which looks like it's all like a pencil or pen artwork, I guess. It's like an underwater shooter. Looks pretty cool. There's also Toho Kabuto 5 Burst Battle, but that's not until October 10th. There's also Tiny Barbarian DX, which I have a special story to share with you later today. Also available is a game that I begged the developers to bring to Switch, and I'm going to say I single-handedly did it, even though I know that's not true at all. Oxenfree is available on the Switch. Nikki Hill, this is a game that goes directly up your alley.
Hey-o!
Let's go ahead.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know what I was looking for on my phone, but it came up as an iPhone, a mobile game as well. And I was like,
Oxenfree is?
this sounds familiar. I think
I mean, it makes-
was yammering on about it forever.
It works on any platform. It's not like a, it could work as a point-and-click game easily.
Is it like a horror game or something? What was it?
There's definitely a horror element to it, but it's like, when I say horror, I mean like,
Should I get it for my mobile device?
I get it anywhere. I mean, I think you're gonna.
Because he's talking.
If you play it on mobile, I would.
Podcast. I'm gonna get it. For my,
If you play it on mobile, I would wear headphones. But, yeah, it's really cool. It's kind of like, in some ways, it's kind of like Life is Strange. Just it's about teens and growing
I
up.
think you
And
showed me. And,
it's good. It's good. Also available is Tumblestone, which is a puzzle game. Volgar the Viking is available on Switch. Ninja Showdown is on the Switch. The classic Metal Slug X is available on Switch as well. And a new RPG from Kemco. Yes, Kemco is still around. Symphony of Eternity is on the 3DS
Looking that up.
eShop. So we are, the Switch eShop has had so much good stuff every week since launch, but now we're really getting into it. Last week there were 18 titles. This week there's not as many, but there's some really heavy hitters this week. Virtual Face says Stardew Valley is live in a European eShop. Yes, it's live everywhere. Go get it. Well, let's talk about what else Europe got. They got Stardew Valley, Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time, which we got last week. That is an award-winning game. Just put that out there. They also got the Just Dance 2018 demo on Switch. If for some reason you don't know by now how Just Dance games work, you can get a free demo. They also got Axiom Verge, Metal Slug X, Earth Atlantis, Ninja Showdown, Tower of Babel, which we already had, I believe, Tumblestone, Volgar the Viking, Oxenfree. There's a demo for Spelunker Party, which Square Enix is surprisingly localizing. I'm very happy that they are. And yes, Spelunker is the same Spelunker that we played as children on the NES, the little round-nosed man that went through the caverns and all that garbage. Spelunky. 3DS got Mario & Luigi's Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions. It also got Layton's Mystery Journey, Catriel and the Millionaire's Conspiracy. They got Cold Sept. They got Symphony of Eternity. A whole buttload of DLC for a whole buttload of games. Sorry, Mom Brain.
No Hello Kitty, please.
No Hello Kitty. All there is this week is a Box Boy theme.
Yeah, a bunch of Box Boy.
Wii U got Volgar, the Viking, Double Dungeons, Vigilante, and the Just Dance 2018 demo as well. So there you go. Another big week in Europe as well. There's a great interview this week by our friends over at Games Industry talking about the insane indie rush on Switch because Switch is selling so well and indies are having such great success there that they're like, we got to get our game on Switch right now. So it's just week after week, everything is big name games are coming.
That's trouble though too.
That's also in the interview. They talk about that. Yeah. The indies are saying like, we know it's not going to be like this forever, but while the getting's good, we're going to get in on it.
All
right. Here's one of the most mind-blowing ones. Shovel Knight, a huge success on Wii U and 3DS. And it was successful on PS4 and Xbox One, and I believe it's on Steam. And PS3 and Xbox 360, I guess. I don't know.
In that game, you can die as much as...
Wherever it was. Did really well everywhere. Like, Yacht Club's first game right out the gate. Million seller. So it comes out on Switch, which has the smallest install base of all those platforms it's ever come out on. It already sold more on Switch at launch than any of the other systems. Any of them.
Like combined?
Not combined,
okay,
but individually, which is nuts because
it's pretty nuts.
We're talking about like between the platforms, there's like anywhere from 150 to 200 million owners of those platforms. And a Switch, which I guess at launch, what do you say, 2 million? They launched with 2.5 million units, which sold out right away. So 2 million people. It just goes to show how many people buy a system and how their trail off of buying games works out. Plus, you know, when you launch on a system, because what else is there to purchase? So, like, you know, PS4 has a lot of stuff on that shop already, and then again, it's a type of game that Nintendo fans I think are going to be more interested in. So, whole bunch of reasons. But
was Nintendo advertising it though, or something?
Nintendo heavily pushed, definitely, because they did the Amiibo tie-in, and there's more Amiibo coming. But still, I definitely think it's a game that fits in better with the with your average Nintendo fan. Oh my God, that was the next top story, and I didn't even
average Nintendo fan.
You segued right through it.
Didn't even know. So we're hearing from, these are sources coming along the upstream supply chain. So the companies that are working on manufacturing the Switch, the companies that Nintendo has hired to put together the pieces, parts, and manufacture the system. They say that Nintendo has recently raised its orders for the Switch to 2 million units a month. So we know the Switch is selling well, but now with Nintendo upping it to 2 million units a month, you get a really good idea of just how well it's selling.
Well, especially with holiday right around.
Now again, this isn't Nintendo confirming it, but this is the sources on the supply chain. So analysts are saying that Nintendo is going to be able to reach 20 million units sold for, or shipped, I should say, for 2017. Again, the total install base of the Wii U is 13.4 million. And the Switch within its first fiscal year probably won't beat that, but will come very close. It should at least get to 10 million by the end of the first fiscal year.
The Wii after the first year?
I don't know. What's the difference? I mean, you can look it up if you just do.
I'd rather you tell me.
I don't know where it was at the end of the first year. I think by like the fourth month it had 5 million.
I feel like that's just good journalism.
Well, I did look up those facts for another story. Blah, blah, blah. You don't need to hear the rest of it. But yeah, 2 million units a month. Blah, 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 blah. That's
Blah blah blah.
it's a lot of Switches out there. And now we are at the point where it's easier to get a Switch now. You can go to Amazon and get one. You can go to, and they're selling them in weird places too. Like PokemonCenter.com is selling them because Pokemon Tournament DX is out. So why not sell the system it's on? And then there's other stuff too. So you should be able to get one right now. But when Odyssey comes out, especially when a commercial hits, whenever Nintendo does that, and then as we lead into the holiday season, it's going to get more difficult again. Mr. Rye says, makes sense to do so with the first holiday season in sight. The last thing they want to do is lose momentum by not having enough stock during the busiest time of the year, especially with big games dropping one after another. Yes, we have Super Mario. Well, we have Fire Emblem Warriors and Super Mario Odyssey and Doom and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And I'm forgetting something. Big. But yes, it is literally each month there's at least one big game coming out. Oh, Skyrim. Skyrim is in there too. Here's a load of garbage from EA. Oh, Greenbolt.
Oh, come on. Everybody loves EA.
So wait. So December 31st of 2006, which is not the first full fiscal year. That's only like 2 months, right? Did it come out in November?
There's a, if you're on, are you on the wiki page?
Yeah.
There should be a table that literally breaks it down by region and month.
Not exact month. No, it's not what I see.
I was just looking at it. I don't know if it's set up different on mobile. All right, so I'll give you the quick rundown of this. I did a today's big story on this because it's a bunch of asinine. So FIFA 18 came out on the Switch. And there's this one little thing EA didn't tell anybody about it, and consumers found out when they got it. There's no way to play online with friends.
Wow.
You can play online with strangers, but if you have friends, no. Can't do it.
That's
no way, unless you randomly find them by accident.
Pretty limiting.
Nintendo's online isn't the best, but John the Savage can attest to this. We play online with friends.
We sure do. And it's fun.
And somehow EA can't do this with FIFA. The biggest game they release every year, plus they didn't bother to tell anybody before the game came out. So,
well, if they told people, they wouldn't buy it.
our friends
so
at
it's
Eurogamer reached out to EA, and they were like, hey, EA, we can't play with friends in FIFA on the Switch. Why? And EA said this. FIFA 18 on Switch offers local seasons, allowing friends to play against each other across 2 consoles in close proximity to one another. And we encourage those looking to compete online to take advantage of the online modes on Switch, including FIFA Ultimate Team, online seasons, and online tournaments. You might have noticed something's missing in there. An answer to the goddamn question. They didn't give an answer at all. They pretended like it wasn't even asked. Like, we're going to get this answer and be like, oh, okay. No, they didn't tell us why. They didn't say anything. What a load of garbage, man. You know, like EA gets crapped on. I understand why they get crapped on, but I'm not one that's been particularly mad at them. More recently, I've been angry because of the Mass Effect situation. But now, oh, it makes me so angry.
I'm mad that they didn't bring another Henry Hatsworth.
I'm mad as hell.
Can you think of
The
any
SimCity
reason
situation
why
wasn't so good
they
either.
would not include it?
Well, I can tell you the reasons the internet's saying. A, lazy. I don't want to say developers are lazy. EA, the publisher, the higher-ups, different story than the people working hard on the game. They're not making the call, really, on what's going to go into it. So I can't blame the developers. The other reason, EA doesn't have a good relationship with Nintendo in recent years. And EA wants a reason to say, like, well, we put out a great game in FIFA 18 on Switch, and people just didn't buy it, so we don't see a reason to support the platform. And Nintendo fans are like, God damn it, give us the game with everything it's supposed to have, and then people will buy it. But instead, they pretend like everything's okay. The game comes out, and people are like, why the hell isn't this mode in here?
That's been the case for a long time.
Yeah.
Ever since the Wii.
That's low. That's pretty low, mister.
During the Wii's lifetime, they were like, they started off real slow. They ramped it up. They put out a bunch of garbage, and then they were like, we're pulling everything from the Wii.
Yeah, which sucks because when they were actually putting time into their games on Wii, like the Tiger Woods games were good. They were very good. I really had a lot of fun with them, and they had extra modes, stuff like frisbee golf and stuff like that. It was good stuff. And they tried some unique things like Boom Blocks. That was like, here's an original IP for EA. Steven Spielberg's working on it, blah, blah, blah. Those were good games. And then it was like, my Sims, my Sims, my Sims, my Sims, my Sims. And then like, whatever the hell else they did. Like a whole bunch of garbage, like you said. It's just not coming to mind. And they were like,
but they
who's buying anything on the Wii
They had a
anymore?
bunch of, like, they promised, they didn't promise, but they said they were going to bring a bunch of stuff. And then something happened corporate, in like their corporate world. And then they were like, everything that we said we were going to bring, yeah, it's just not going to happen. We're just going to do sports titles now.
And then on top of
And then
that,
they half-ass the sports titles and don't include everything. And then, yeah, so it's the same thing. They go, it doesn't sell well. We're out.
yeah. But there was that time when EA was making good stuff for Wii. Like we got Dead Space Extraction. You know, for whatever people say if they like that on-rail shooter, it was still a quality game. Like they put time and effort into it. It's something new and interesting.
Dead Space kind of
Yeah, boy, they killed that franchise. Yep. That's what EA's doing. They kill everything. Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because they have their sports games that are going to sell on other systems, like Madden roster change, and that's it every year. Like they put in new.
So there's no point in exploring or trying.
Why? Yeah. Why take the time, the effort, put in the money when they know they got Madden and FIFA and UFC coming out every year, and they can just swap in a couple new characters, and that's all there is to it.
Change the sock colors.
Change the sock colors. Yes. Although I will say FIFA 18 on Switch has some fantastic glitches. There's two glitches which are amazing. One of them takes off every player's face, and their head is a blue and green checkerboard. They look like some weird new version of the Blue Man Group. It's amazing. And then the other one is ridiculously freaky. Everybody turns into like a shadow, like blob of a human. You know the alien in Heart of the Alien? I know you know it.
Me?
Yeah, or I'm sorry, Out of This World.
Oh,
Sharuba, that alien. Everybody looks like that guy, but completely black, like pitch black head to toe. No defining characteristics, and they look like a blob running around on the field. It's amazing. Look it up. I put the glitches. I'm gonna show it to you. Here's the last story, which Nikki Hill will be happy about. Nintendo stock hit a 9-year high as of today.
yeah.
They were less than 50 cents away from $50, I think.
Yeah, they're getting up there, baby. Yes, things are going very well for Nintendo right now.
I'm tempted to sell.
Hang in there.
People would tell me, but I know a Zelda mobile game.
You should hang in there because there's big games that haven't been announced that are gonna make people very happy.
New Metroid?
There's something wrong with your
No, they know Metroid's coming.
A new Metroid remake?
And then Metroid Federation.
Metroid remake.
Animal Crossing mobile.
Animal Crossing. Look at this. Oh, I even got a video of it. This is so weird.
Zip. Shadow Man.
It's playing, right?
Yeah, they're super blocky.
Yeah, right? They're weird looking.
Actually, that looks like a fun game. Like
if FIFA was like this every year, I'd play it.
No, but like really high res like setting, and then there's 8-bit. It's like Captain Video playing soccer.
That is funny.
Bit Trip Runner playing just soccer game.
Did it loop over? Because you get to more evolved shadow figures. They start off as blobs, and then they get to like real human outlines.
Now
we're back to the blocking
I want to
people.
play blob soccer.
Blobker.
Who makes?
I won't play Blobker.
Who makes Bit Trip Runner?
Choice Provisions.
What for cheeseburger?
They should do a soccer game.
You gotta hang the beef.
Man.
Get them. Talk to them. Get them to do a soccer game.
I'm so excited for.
Put EA out of business.
So excited for Runner 3, and that got pushed back to 2018. But the music in that game.
The way time is flying by, it's not far away.
The music in that game, man. They like the preview footage that they showed. It's really like a big step up, and music is obviously really important to those games. But this one, man. All right.
Hey.
Kirby, what do you play lately?
I think the only thing I played this week was Super Castlevania.
4.
Yeah, or Castlevania 4.
Yes, both are acceptable. Super Castlevania, Castlevania 4, Super Castlevania 4.
On the
probably the Wii Virtual Console.
Yes.
Have you ever beaten that game?
No.
How far did you get?
Well, I just.
How'd you feel when you got there? Tell me about it. Show me a picture.
I just beat the Mummy. In the clock tower.
Yes. So you're reasonably far. That's
I was making pretty steady progress for a while.
Is that?
But then I got to like the the dungeon with Frankenstein in it.
Oh yeah,
So yeah, I must have played through that level like
with
100
the part with
goddamn
the
times.
spikes that come down.
Yeah, and all the platforms, and
Yes.
I lost so many lives doing that.
But
Was there a game over screen?
great song on that level.
Yeah, luckily the music is pretty good.
I mean, that whole game has great music, but that
Oh,
one
yeah.
in particular, like, that sounds
that one's
so good for the Super Nintendo sound chip.
1991.
Have you not? Do you play Castlevania games?
Not like Kirby.
Oh,
Super
excuse me.
Castlevania 4.
What is it? Is that kind of like a
Two words for you.
Metroidvania game?
Super Castlevania 4. 2 words for you. Limp whip. That's all you need to know. So good.
All right.
So good.
All
But wait,
Why attack them head on when you can just go like
Limp
this
whip
and let
them.
them come into it?
Give me a lip whip.
Um,
Give me a lip whip.
those earlier Castlevania games, were they Metroidvania style? Not really, right?
Yeah.
You didn't
The,
go back to
the
previous
early
ones.
Castlevania games?
Like on the
No,
Tiger
the
handheld?
first one that was like that was Symphony of the Night.
Yeah.
That was PlayStation.
So that's crazy. You got a Castlevania game that's not even a
Yeah,
Metroidvania game.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, it's Castle. It's Castle.
Yes, there's Castlevania and Metroidvania.
Yeah.
Advania.
Yeah, the Castlevania franchise had a whole nother life before we got to the Metroidvania style. And, you know, it will be nice to see them.
Yeah.
Well, we had Castlevania Rebirth, which was on WiiWare, which was not a Metroidvania. But outside of that, yeah, every single one has been Metroidvania. But now what's Konami going to do? They're going to do this. Ruin it.
I forget, was Castlevania Rebirth, was that a remake of Castlevania Adventure on the
Yes.
Game Boy? Okay, because that was
loosely.
the
Yes.
first Castlevania I ever played.
Not Rebirth, the original on Game Boy.
Yeah, the Game
Yeah,
Boy
yeah.
one.
That
Castlevania
one,
Adventure.
that is slow going, man.
He's oh
He
my
moves
god,
real slow.
and he's not.
I'm very
He's,
polite.
he's not really that fast in any of the games, but he's
Particularly bad.
really, really slow in
Yes.
Castlevania Adventure.
Is he-
When I got my
More
Game
powerful?
Boy as a birthday
Nope.
present, I got like the Game Boy, Tetris, and Castlevania Adventure.
Castlevania Slow
And you made your mom take it all back.
No, I liked it for what, because then I was like, oh my god, I can play anywhere I want. It's on a portable. This is
I
amazing.
think I got it as a gift too, actually.
And then you play it later, and you're like, wow, like he moves like slow motion. It's
And
terrible.
it's really hard to jump too.
Yes, it is.
This is a Game Boy port, John?
Not a port. It was a Game Boy original Castlevania.
Did we have that, Kirby?
That's what he was
I
saying.
just said, yeah, I got it as a gift. It
Trying to
was the
remember
first Castlevania that I played.
I don't remember that one. We had our own
He
Game-
got
we
it
had-
as a
We
gift.
had our own Game Boy.
He hid it from you.
Yeah, I didn't want to share it.
That's how we knew there was a Santa Claus.
Yeah,
We
you
asked
know-
for one Game Boy and we got two. And we're like, well, our parents could possibly afford that. Must be Santa Claus.
Yeah, I'm surprised you
that
don't
was
play
my
more
thinking.
Castlevania games.
I know, I never really.
Well, you wouldn't like Metroidvania, let's put it that way, because map. So,
yeah.
Because map.
I'm gonna try. I'll try that again.
but classic Castlevania. It's hard to think of a bad one.
The one
Minus
for
the
Tiger
Game Boy.
handheld.
Well,
Simon's
yeah,
Quest.
it's true. I wasn't including those.
That one. I
Castlevania
remember.
1, 2, 3. Those are all good. Super Castlevania's good. Castlevania Bloodlines is good.
Gargoyle's
Rondo of
Quest.
Blood's
Is that
excellent.
one of them?
The ripoff of Rondo
no.
of Blood on Super Nintendo is still good.
Wasn't that a
think that's all of them.
Something? I feel like I remember hearing that the
That's
Gargoyle
that's
games were
Metroidvania.
spin-offs of
It's a
something.
spinoff of Ghosts and Goblins.
What was?
The Gargoyle.
Kid Dracula?
No, Ghosts and Goblins.
That Kid
Gargoyle's
Dracula
Quest.
is a badass
Kid Dracula, not only is
It's
it
a
part of the
badass game.
Castlevania franchise, it's canon.
Yeah.
Which makes
It is,
no sense.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Somebody just said that when they had no idea what canon meant. They were like, yeah, it's got a canon in it.
Yeah, C-A-double-N.
Yeah, lots of
Canon.
cannons.
Lots of canon. What do you like in games? Canons? Yeah, it's got canons.
Yeah, that's because if you fly over the old ghost, he dies again. That's how you win it.
That's it. Got it.
That's probably what happened. Like somebody called up the big wig at Konami, and they were like, "So is Kid Dracula canon?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's got lots of cannons."
That's what Igarashi was saying.
Idiot admits canon.
I think he said it recently. He's like, the worst thing I ever did was make a timeline for Castlevanias, because he's like, as soon as you announce a new one, everybody's like, where does this one come in? How could Shinoa be there? And he's like, just leave me alone. I just want to make a game.
Vampires
Like,
and a guy with a whip.
this stuff doesn't matter. But that man is free now. Free to do whatever he wants. Good for him. Man,
How's that?
Bloodstain's going to be so good.
It's called
But yeah.
Bloodstain.
Yeah, so the guy that made Castlevanias,
Castlevania.
when they made the switch to Metroidvania, is Koji Igarashi, and he made every Castlevania game after that, and they were all fantastic. And then, long story short, Konami's a jerk. He's gone from the company. So now he's making, for all intents and purposes, a new Castlevania game, but not in name. It's called Bloodstained, but everything else is Castlevania. So it's going to be great.
Is the
but
guy
now,
called Myman?
no, he's Byman Selman.
Myman Selman.
I'm Count Cracula. I have no idea what Konami's going to do with Castlevania now. Now that the guys that did Lords of Shadow are now working with Nintendo and just did Metroid Samus Returns, so they're not doing any more Castlevanias. I don't know what Konami's going to do. Slot machines and pachinko, that's what they're going to do. Okay. You didn't play anything this last week. Oh, I guess that was last week.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
It's exactly a week.
R-Type. Go right ahead.
So I got a chance to try the new SNES Classic. Amazing. Fun. More fun than the NES because that really was canon for me.
Hold on a second. I didn't even realize it when I said it, but how much sense the name Byman Selmont makes sense. Buy and sell. Wow.
You should be a trader.
Byman Selmont. That's great. Thank you for pointing that out, Rocket. All right, go ahead.
So we tried a couple different things. I think they played Yoshi's Island the most.
You did.
A lot of fun.
Had some trouble getting to Bert the Bashful, but you did it.
Yeah, I pantsed him pretty good.
You did pants him.
Made him take off his pants to reveal nothing
that
but
super
a fleshy,
dick. So good.
Fleshy, shitty underneath.
Yeah. Shovelly. What else did you play in there? You played some Super Metroid.
Yep, my first Metroid experience. Couldn't say I loved it. It's stiff, like it's stiff is how I explain the gameplay. You know what I mean?
It's Samus has some.
It's idiosyncratic, and I'm not used to it. You know what I mean?
Simon has, or Simon. What am I saying? Samus, Byman Selman.
Amos Saran. Amos Saran.
Samus has some momentum to her. Like you got to get moving a little bit. It's not much, but there is a little bit of
And I'm not used to like the duck, and I guess I'll get used to it. It's just
there's a duck in that game.
Yes,
well, yeah.
Very important to the whole franchise.
Yeah,
duck in here?
Duck and ball.
Metroid game about duck and the ball.
Duck and ball and make explosion poops. And what else did I play? Kirby Golf. What was it called? Kirby Mini Course, Action Course, Dream Course.
Yes, Kirby Action Course.
Dream
Course.
Yes,
It
was the working Japan title. And then
you played a good amount of that. You beat the first world.
Yeah. And anything else?
You played a very little bit of Star Fox 2.
Oh yeah. I got a little nauseous.
I'm nauseous.
Nauseous.
Is that it?
Turn the page. Yeah. So the winner was Yoshi's Story.
Yoshi's Island.
Mario's Story in Yoshi's Island 2.
Because Yoshi's Story, I know your sister is a big fan.
That's true.
Nikki Hill, you play anything?
Yeah. Since I've been here, I finished Plague of Shadows, right? Shovel Knight Plague.
Yes.
Is it Plague of Shadows?
Yeah.
Or something? So I finished
Plague
that
of Shadows.
Story. And then I played some Mario Kart with the Stranger on the Switch.
8 Deluxe.
You played Mario Kart, then you gave yourself a stranger?
8 Deluxe.
God, this game's great.
And she's been playing
Who's doing that?
She's been playing it almost nonstop.
I'm a Nikki Hill. I'm gonna win.
So she's been playing it for a while, and then today I started playing with her. Her goal is to get better so that she can beat her nephew next time they play.
Physically?
So the way it works is that right now, if you start to beat him in the game, he just turns off the system.
Oh, yes. Like my famous story about a former Nintendo employee. What a load of crap.
What happened?
I was at an event where they had just... It was first hands-on for press with Diddy Kong Racing on the DS. And I was racing a couple people from Nintendo. One of them who's not there anymore. I won't bring up names. But we were racing, and we were getting to the finish line, and they were winning. And I just barely overtook them, and I was like, we were like 10 feet from the finish line, and they turned off their DS, and I got a disconnect message. And I looked at them, and I was like, you have to be kidding me, really? And they were like, you didn't win. We didn't finish the race. So I was like, I will never forget this day. And I still haven't, but they're not with Nintendo anymore.
Why did they do that?
Because they thought it was funny. Sore loser, that's right. Yeah.
Well, today we were racing and we got through the stranger finished the second lap. She came in first on the second lap.
Yeah.
And she was really frustrated because I won the 2 previous courses. And she stopped and she was like, in your face.
Oh no.
And she sat there and she was loading and I was still racing and I was like, the game's still going. Everybody's passing you. And she was like, what? Oh, crap.
But more importantly, who is she racing as?
She started racing as Toad.
Solid choice. Toad's a good one.
And then I tried to race with like the same car as her, and we did the one course that's like in the rain or whatever. And I just couldn't handle it.
In the snow.
I just like the handling was terrible.
Well, it also depends on what character you had.
I like Rosalina.
Who'd you have?
Rosalina too.
I had Tanuki Mario. I like that one.
She thick.
I think Toad's got to be a light, and Mario's got to be a regular.
Probably.
But yeah, so there will be a difference.
That's why. I like when you're Tanuki Mario and you jump off of a jump. Like you press jump off of the things and you turn it into the and I also started playing. My goal was to finish it this week since I'm off from work, but it's not going to happen.
No more shows about knives and tattoos?
We're going back. We're just off this week because somebody
got killed.
Is getting married.
Oh, same thing.
It's happening to everybody.
Somebody's marrying
an epidemic.
That's what I was going to say. Do you take this sword?
But I started playing Tomb Raider, Rise Up for Tomb Raider.
Rise up the Tomb Raider. Rise from your Tomb Raider.
Yeah. It's crazy, though. I can spend like an hour playing it, and then I quit and come back to it, and I'm like, oh, I only gained 1% that entire thing.
I'm glad you said that. Have you seen the trailer for the Tomb Raider movie?
Yes.
I think it doesn't. The trailer, anyway. From the trailer, it looks like it does a very good job of making the first reboot game into a movie.
Yeah, I mean, it looked.
It's the first time I've seen a game trailer where I'm like, yeah, this is what the game is like.
That trailer looked. I can't think of the word that just.
Sexy.
No, I mean it looked loyal to the game.
Yes, it definitely does.
But while I was playing this, I was thinking to myself, so the first game, spoiler alert? I don't know.
No.
Well, the movie's coming out, so if people haven't played the game and want to see the movie, that's a spoiler. But the supernatural aspects.
Yeah.
See,
that's what I'm curious about.
In the game, I don't know. There's a forgiveness. In the movie, I think there's going to be less forgiveness.
Yeah, definitely.
So that people are going to have a much harder time accepting it. Because then, I never really played Tomb Raider, but I saw the first Tomb Raider. Like I didn't watch the whole thing, but I saw an element of it, and there was supernatural stuff in the Angelina Jolie one, and it was absurd. And I was like, you know what? As a game, this is a huge boss fight. In the movie, this is just stupid.
It depends. To tell you the honest truth, I hope they keep that out of the movie.
I don't think they are. I mean,
I don't think so either. But I don't know.
I mean,
and see, there's the other thing. Like the first Uncharted, I think the supernatural element to the first Uncharted, like that completely ruined that game for me. Like as gameplay, as fun, I had a ton of fun playing.
They all have a supernatural element.
But the first one is like zombies or whatever. Like, right? Yeah, it's zombies.
But it's like they're justified. Like the second one was like those giant muscle men.
Giants.
And it was like, oh, they've been eating tree sap. What?
That's true.
You're all right with that?
For some reason, I'm okay with that. Well, not zombies. You know why? Because I think in the first game it was like nothing, and then zombies. Like it was just out of nowhere. Like it's like the last hour of the game that came up. I was like, why? Why?
I also saw you play it at your house.
Kind of what they did in Indiana Jones.
Yes, they did do that in Indiana Jones.
Like you didn't know that the Ark was full of ghosts until the very end.
Well, you know, just something about that.
Those ghosts melted faces. So that's fine.
But yeah, I saw the trailer and I was like, you know, I'm pleasantly surprised with this. It looks like they're being quite faithful.
It didn't even process to me when I saw like the image, the poster. But did you see what people are saying about the poster?
Her neck. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I showed it to Mom Brain because the neck is so goddamn weird.
It's like the abyss or something.
Something happened. Whoever was the Photoshop guy, whoever created the poster, did not fix this woman's neck. He must have. I don't know what happened, but she's got
like
a very weird neck.
Does she at least look like she has like cereal boxes down her shirt, like she should?
No, she does not have pointy boobs. But this is based off the new Tomb Raider, so she doesn't have those anymore.
So I that's another thought I had while playing today. I fell into water or whatever, and there's a cutscene where she comes crawling out, and her boobs just look natural. I don't know, the way they were kind of there, and like you can almost see down the cleavage. I was like, oh, those are nice.
If I position the camera just right,
those are nicely rendered bosoms.
The technology has gotten us there. It's gotten me there. I'll tell you that.
Although her hair is like way too shiny and fake.
Yep, that's it. Untouched. No, he's got a.
All
right, John the Savage, did you play anything?
It's been a while since I've been here.
This last week.
No.
All right, go ahead. You can tell us something.
I'm up to like 96 shrines.
Oh.
Ooh. Pretty good.
You better hurry up because that winter DLC is going to be here before you know it.
So slow.
All right, then that's it. Mom Brain. No?
No.
Okay. I've been playing a lot.
All right.
There's a lot of
Good night, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. It's that time.
I played some more of that Butcher.
Oh yeah, I saw a
Queefus, this is my dog, Queefus.
I saw an ad for that.
Dude,
Or a trailer.
Queefus.
I saw it somewhere. It was like, hey,
Hey,
what is that?
Queefus got into the trash again.
I'm sorry.
I think it may have been through like
Is it WH or just like H?
WHEEFUS.
It looks like a game I would not want to play.
Let's finish. I missed what they're laughing
A
at.
dog named Queefus.
Get back here, Queefus!
Is there a cat named Queefus?
Have you seen Queefus?
Queefus is under the bed again and he won't come out.
What are you doing under there, Queefus? Well, where did Queefus come from to begin with?
He did, and it just
Queefus.
would be a great dog name.
Queefus.
Queefus.
I like how they say it's important to give animals names with like hard consonants in them, and you name a dog Queefus.
You go to the vet, you're like, I think Queefus got a bad case of the trots again.
What does that start with? 7 O's.
Queefus. 7 O's. A U and a half.
Some H's and W's and some F's. And then US.
We'll be playing together Queefus.
I like that warm up.
Oh,
Oh,
here we go. It always happens when you're here for some reason.
I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything this time.
Oh, wait.
Let's turn the camera to her.
Nails look great.
Man, all it takes is a dog name.
The best dog name ever. I gotta write Stop eating all that hummus.
Oh, man. Take a little drink. Take a little drink. Take a little drink. Take a little drink. Drink your stick, Drew. Drew says we lost her.
I'm real sorry, guys. I didn't mean that.
Oh, it looks like there's a YouTuber named Queefus McBall.
All right, you can turn it back, please.
That's spelled.
Thank you.
Queefus.
All right, so Butcher, as you were saying, you saw an ad for Butcher somewhere?
I saw it somewhere. I don't know if it was on Facebook.
I can honestly tell you from what I saw, I was not interested when I played it. I really like it.
From what I saw, I am not interested in it. It looks like a game that is. I'm just going to get frustrated with.
Probably, but it is a good game. It's a lot of fun. So I played more of that. I also played.
With.
I asked if I was allowed to talk about it, and he didn't say anything. I don't care. It's a friend, so I'm not
murder. I did murder.
Work it out. I've been playing Tiny Barbarian DX on the Switch. Now, here's the story I said I had. Tiny Barbarian. So when I talked to, I've known Tyrone Rodriguez of Nicholas for a really long time, almost as long as I've done GoNintendo. Probably like.
So you might have been talking about him already tonight.
He didn't actually work for Nintendo.
No, I wasn't talking about him. No. Yeah, he was with Go and Harris.
Oh yeah. Forgot about that.
So when I talked to him a long time ago, before he did Nicholas, he was just PR for another company. He was talking about getting into doing games. And he's like, I don't know, maybe I should try and publish games first and then take it from there. And I was like, you know what we should do? He's like, I've been playing this game called Tiny Barbarian, and it's amazing. I think more people should play it. And for years and years, it was me like, get this game out. Come on, are you going to do this? Are you going to do this? And now, hello!
What up, party people?
Casey in the building.
Podcast is over.
What's up?
I smell like weed.
I smell like I've been in a car for 12 hours, and I think that's my soul rotting.
Here, come on and pull up a chair. There's chairs. Where?
So,
Where's chair? Oh, right there.
Tiny Barbarian DX comes out on the Switch this coming week. It's about a very tiny barbarian guy, but he's a hero, and it's kind of like
I saw a commercial for this. He doesn't look any smaller than other people that he's fighting.
forgetting stupid stuff.
Conan the Barbarian.
Yes, thank you. Why couldn't I think of that? It's like that. Like the game starts off with this guy tied up on a tree, and vultures come in, and just like the movie.
Normal sized vultures.
You can poke them with
Big size vultures. So I've been playing that, and it's a lot of fun. Like I said, I love the original game. It's platforming and fighting with a sword, but like your character's very small, and like the levels are really big to get around. And they have like it's got like a Ghosts and Goblins type of map to it. It has like the overview and then the little dots that go across, and you hop into a level. So I'm playing that, and I really like that.
Like that.
I forgot.
And the retail version of that game has cover art done. I forget the guy's name, but it's the same guy who used to do the artwork for the Adventure Island games, like Master Higgins and all that stuff. Yeah.
I think his name was Hudson.
I
think his name is Hudson.
Mr. Hudson.
Mr. Hudson.